Hey everybody, it's Irene with BrainStormAcres, and this morning I'm going to start working on the reorganization of the greenhouse. Now this is actually going to be not a cut and dried experience, because there's just so many odd things that have to happen. And the first thing that I'm going to do this morning actually has absolutely nothing to do with the majority of the organization of the greenhouse, but it does have to do with maintaining the plants. I've had a little bit of a white fly problem recently, and I'm trying to avoid not having to do too much spraying. I don't mind spraying something like the cucumber plants or something like that, but I try not to spray things that we're actually going to eat the specific parts of, like the pak choi. But I can't just let them go wild and crazy. So what I need to do is control them a little, and I'm going to do it by a purely physical means. Now, previously I had mentioned this, but I've never showed it. So I've actually been lucky enough this year not to need to do it very much. And I haven't had to do it at all in the garden. I have up whitefly traps along the sides here, and glancing at them I can see there's quite a few whiteflies on there. But down here there actually aren't any whitefly traps, and we've had this, like I say, obnoxious little bloom. Sometimes you just plain look grumpy, Jack. Are you grumpy? I don't think so. I think you're happy to be with me. Right over here is our pak choi, and then these are two different kinds of peppers, California Wonder and Antohi, both of which are a sweet pepper. Now I harvested one of these pak choi out last night, and we used it in soup. And I chose the smallest one in there because I needed to make more space. The plants are too crowded. So let me show you what I'm going to do next. Now what I just brought in here is a vacuum. Let me turn this fan off briefly. Ooh, it's going to get hot in here fast with that off. I'm actually going to stir up the plant and vacuum up the whiteflies. Now that may seem silly, but all I'm doing is basically physically removing the whiteflies. Now there's still whiteflies here, but before, when I bopped this thing, I had a whole cloud that came up. And while I can still see a bunch coming up, I've literally sucked up probably several thousand, and I didn't have to spray anything. Now, I have to decide. I need to temporarily move a couple of these tomatoes. I think I'm going to move this one over here because it's in the way and I don't want to mash it. If it didn't have so darn many things growing on it, I may actually just cut that off anyway. I think I'm going to do that. Sometimes you got to get brutal when you're cleaning things up. I'm going to take off this branch right here. Okay, that gives me a lot more space. And now I'm going to turn the fan back on and I'm going to get back to work. I need to have access to this. I also need to sweep this out. I think that'll be enough. I have to have access to this electric. Goal is to leave access to all the electrics. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty good. What I really want to do is make it work and have it stable. I have to wait for these to be empty, obviously, to move them because there's heavy. Okay, so I have the lid for stuff here, and as I get the other ones empty, they'll be moved here too. Not exactly sure where, but somewhere in here. That's step one. Now, I managed to get that watermelon that was stuck back behind the hoop through there this morning without any damage and moved the plant over. I just sort of flopped it over. Makes it look sort of messy, but that's okay. Messy is okay. Now, this bucket is old and therefore has to be moved with great care. Is also heavy because it's got a lot of water in it. But I don't want to try and lift it because I know it'll break. So I'm just going to slide it in a little bit. There we go. This is a shower sort of a day. Now what I'm going to do is pull this guy out. I've been watering him a little bit, not a lot, so he's not bone dry. He has water down underneath. And I am going to take a look at my peppers here. Not too bad. Sort of bonk them around a little bit when I shake them every day because they need to be pollinated. I probably need to get a couple of stakes and put them in here. I do. Yeah. A lot fewer white flies. That's a good thing.